Welcome to Success Superstars, your place for inspiration and the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. And my special guest today, Laura O'Connor, President and Chief Operating Officer of JPAR Franchising. Laura, welcome.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm so glad to have you on and for the audience to get to know you. And you're an amazing leader, and we're super proud and honored that you chose JPAR to come to and apply your leadership skills.
I couldn't have dreamt of a better fit. Every single person I've met here is enthusiastic. They are entrepreneurial, driven by success and doing things the right way. And it is exactly what I was looking for at this stage in my career.
Well, that's awesome. Well, let's unpack a little bit. Let's get to know Laura. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you grew up and what formed you to be the amazing leader that you are.
Yeah, not to go back too far, but I did grow up by our family ranch in middle of nowhere, Montana. And I think that really is where the foundation of my leadership style started, in that when you're in a community like that, you're really far removed from a lot of resources. The community has to come together, and you hear about the barn buildings and the things maybe back during the homestead days. A lot of that culture carried over. And so when you grow up in that type of a community, you're used to everybody being creative, figuring out different ways to solve the problems that nature throws at you, and the neighbors coming together and helping each other out. And I think that that's a key element of what makes JPAR and the group here really terrific. We were talking about that on our staff meeting this morning, hearing from the different individuals that are part of our core team on why JPAR and what are they grateful for. And it just kept coming back to this collaborative team that's willing to look for opportunities, address challenges. We're not sitting around waiting for somebody else to do it. Everybody has their sleeves rolled up and we're all getting after it. So starting there, and then real estate, I had my son and I wanted to be there for him. And 24 years ago, there weren't a lot of opportunities for virtual or even part-time that would get the bills paid, but also allow me that flexibility to be there for his hockey and football and dirt bike racing and all the other fun things we got to do. So I feel very fortunate that I found this industry that allowed me to achieve both my professional and financial goals without having to sacrifice family.
Wow. So resourcefulness, creativity, community are just something that you grew up in with, became part of your core values.
Yeah, absolutely. I had grandparents next door and up the road, and it was that, good work ethic, treat everybody with respect, and don't be afraid of hard work. And that is the best in real estate. The agents and the owners and the team at JPAR, that's consistent. It is about willing to do the hard work, being curious as leadership, being open to people's ideas and questions, and seeing how we can take this great pool of talent and brain power and combine it into the best decisions that will help us be on the forefront of every change that this industry throws at us.
Yeah, Laura, I was just looking, and in one of our organizations, 75% of our top 1% happen to be female entrepreneurs of every race, creed, color, and they're running businesses from 30 to 100 million. How have you, as a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, and a leader, how do you put all those roles together and be as effective as you are?
Balance. I am, and you'll see 2022, I'm meeting with Chastity and Daniel on my team December 1st. We have a full day strategy session. The core theme of that full day work effort will be around balance. So when you think about it at brokerage level, how do we balance between recruiting and retaining? We have to, say, hey, we're here and we want you. We also have to say, hey, you're already here and we love you, right? Across all spectrums. And I think that it's something we as leaders of organizations and our owners and our managers have to continually think about, which is how do we balance pushing for success and achieving your full potential with making sure you have time for your family, for your mental health, for your physical health, because we need to show up with our best version of ourselves to every single interaction. And we can't do that if we aren't getting enough sleep, if we don't feel well, or if we know that our family is struggling on the side. And so part of the questions that we're asking as I start my owner listening sessions are, what are your goals as they relate not just to financial, success in terms of having a really incredible business that pays the bills and helps us achieve our dreams, but what are your goals for your relationships with your agents, with your staff, with your community? What are your goals in terms of time? Do you need more time, a little time away from the video camera, a little time more in person with your agents? Whatever those are, we want to know how we can collectively help support them in achieving those goals.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I love about your leadership style, amongst many, is you don't call them meetings, you call them listening sessions. Tell us about a listening session and how listening is part of your leadership style.
Yeah, I was able to participate in a year-long executive leadership training program, and it was really effective for what I needed in my professional growth at that point in my life. And biggest key takeaway from it was first leading self, learning who I am, learning what drives me. We think we know ourselves, but we start digging deeper and we uncover some new things. And so that personal mantra that grew out of that year-long exercise was about leading with listening. And I realized that I had a unique inherent talent that I am curious. And if I can channel that in the right way, so instead of asking why, which can come across as confrontational sometimes, just figuring out better ways to pose questions that help me understand what's driving the people around me, where we can help support them. That leadership through listening is a key component that I think is a shift that we're seeing across all the different business units. The next step, though, is the hard one. So it's hard enough sometimes to ask questions. And Mark, you said it best when we connected last. It's listening, not to respond, but listening to actually hear what they're saying. And so taking that information once you've gathered it and turning it into action. And I feel incredibly blessed with the team that I have been handed through this new role, because I'll throw an idea out that I gathered from one of our owners in a conversation, and they're like, yeah, what about this? What about that? And they're immediately on it. They're already strategizing. They're laying out different pathways that it could become a reality. And so that action step is the next piece. So yes, it is listening and hearing, but not just sitting on that information, translating it into something that will benefit the entire network.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes, I think people are starting to do Markisms. One of the Markisms is the winners are the doers, right?
Yes, I love that one.
Yeah, the winners are the doers. Now, one of the things that you and I discussed with our amazing staff this morning from the 4 disciplines of execution is the whirlwind, the distractions, the everyday things that come up, and letting all of that eliminate what I call our white space, the time where we can step back and think, what if and why not? And I know you're doing a lot of that right now. It's good coming in because you can question everything and say, well, why do we do it that way? Or what if, or why not? Do you find that giving yourself some white space where you can step back and see the bigger pictures is important as a leader?
Absolutely. I actually block time on my calendar, and I am very religiously committed to having that time and space to be creative, to question what we're doing, to think about strategy. In addition to that, I had a hard time during COVID, not for the same reasons that other people did, but because my time on planes was when I would really dive deep. I would have 2-3 hours of uninterrupted, no phone. I don't pay for the Wi-Fi on the flight. I take out my Harvard Business Review. I go through, I write notes. That's my time to really get critical with deep thinking and put on my headphones and know There's no family that's coming to knock on the door. There's no Zoom that's going to ring in. There's nothing going on. It's dedicated time. And I have to be honest, the flight back Friday, I think I accomplished more in terms of prep for our full day strategy session than I had in the entire week prior. So, really being fierce about acknowledging that we have to have larger time blocks of uninterrupted, focused research, reflection. I met a recruit at a launch that we had of a new office, our one in Geneva, Illinois, with Jenny Webb, JPAR Stella Blue, and one of the recruits there actually does meditation as a side thing. And he talked about just having that focus in the morning. It sets the entire day up with intention. And so I really appreciated that conversation.
Yeah, you probably haven't heard this Markism, but I say it's take your meds or your PEDs, depending on how you do it. So prayer, exercise, diet, and sleep. Or meditation, exercise, diet, sleep. Take your meds every day, or your PEDs.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
Well, now as we wrap up this episode, tell us a little bit about the vision. Where are you headed? Where are you leading the JPAR franchise organization as we go into rapid growth mode?
Well, that's it, right? It is growth, and really the why behind growth. Why are we growing? And getting down to both the owner and the agent level and saying, where is it that we collectively need and want to be? Because this industry is always changing. We need to be agile and be able to adapt to that change. And if we are equipped, the people that we are associated with currently, our owners and agents and our team, we are the right team to be the most agile, the quickest response time. We are going to be at the forefront of whatever this crazy industry can throw at us. And that's because we are going to be committed to that change agility. The second piece is certainly balance. So using both balance and change agility to drive our growth forward are key components. That being said, just starting my owner listening sessions this week and then moving right into our strategy session as a team. And so I'm leaving, maybe one or two of my core drivers to be influenced by what they're bringing to the table.
I love it. I love it. Well, congratulations on taking on this amazing assignment. We're so blessed to have you as a leader leading this super important strategic effort. It's got to be exciting for you and your family and everybody in your sphere.
Yes, absolutely. I have a tremendous network of people rooting for me, supporting me, mentors, people I can tap into. And so I am beyond ecstatic about where we're at and where we're heading. And I can see the future of where we're going to be, and it's fabulous. I'm glad that we all get to do it together.
Well, any last words of coaching or a preparation as the audience prepares to go into the new year?
Carve out that time. That's what we've talked about, right? But now is the time to make your full plan for 2022. So, we're taking a full day. We're going to sit down. If anybody wants advice or direction, I'm sure Mark, either you or I can provide them templates or outlines for how to hold a strategy session with your key team and get collaborative and get aligned on where you're going to be in 2022 and beyond.
There we go. And the message I'd leave everyone with is, are your goals and ambitions bigger than your distractions? Right? There we go.
Love it.
All right. Well, that's an episode. That's a wrap for this special edition of Success Superstars and our special guest, Laura Connor, President and Chief Operating Officer, JPAR Franchising. Laura, thanks so much.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me.